Really?
Okay.
Check my email, see what I get.
Sorry.
Yeah.
She said he had a bit of, yeah, I mean, wow, it's not even good, but not even. I know. No info, he's like, about 50, and she's like, Catherine, you You're like, I don't know.
Like, no, it's all about.
Yes.
I'm actually elevated up the issue.
Problems, they tell you. Yeah, right. You're not busy at work. You're not busy at work or anything. Okay, it's 6:31, so we'll call the June meeting to order. And then you want to pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of
States
America,
of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty.
and justice for all.
Yeah. Okay, so honors, awards, and presentations. Student spotlight, Dr. Dilge and Abigail.
Yep, Abby's not here, so Dr. Winnie's gonna.
I will
lead it
fill in as best I can for Abby.
Okay.
I've already got some great students to share with you tonight. I'm glad they were all able to make it during the summertime, so very excited to have them. Our first VIP award winner for Valley Park High School is Lana Bill. Lana is an amazing student who manages to carry a 4.56 GPA while participating in our theater and performing arts program and our band program, where she received a gold rating at the State Solo and Ensemble Festival. On top of all those outstanding achievements, Lana took the ACT test at VPHS in April and scored a 33. Lana is an amazing young person. We are proud to name her a VIP award winner. Congratulations, Lana.
That's awesome. Congrats.
It does.
Dr. Winnie knew it'd be cold here tonight.
Well, so we brought our VIP swag out for them. Our next student is Patrice Earhost. Patrice is a student that all staff members enjoy having in their classes and to see in the hallways. Patrice's positive attitude is contagious to her friends in the VPHS student body. Patrice is a student that models what it means to be a Hawk. She carries a 3.83 GPA, is a tireless worker, respectful to others and this place, and is someone we all look up to. Congratulations, Patrice, for being named a VPHS VIP award. And last, but certainly not least this evening, is Chase Bottoms. Come on. Ready? All right. The last person I'd like to recognize is someone that has assisted our students, parents, guardians, and staff in finding the right, oh, sorry, wrong. Hold on a second. You're close though. Chase is an active member of the VPHS student body. You can find him on the athletic fields and court. You can find him in the middle of the Blue Crew, and he is active in clubs and activities. One thing maybe you don't know about him, and I didn't know as much about this until a staff member informed me. Chase has demonstrated particularly thoughtful and kind interactions with our students in the Best Buddies program. Chase stays longer than some of his peers and finds opportunities to genuinely connect and include others of all abilities. Chase is not only an active VPHS member, he is someone that cares about others and makes sure all are included. We're happy to give you the VIP award. That concludes our student awards. So you guys can stay for board meeting if you can, but if you'd like to wish your favorite day. Thank you guys. We have one more award and the person is en route, so I will wait till my presentation's over.
Giving you a one, I think they might be coming.
It's okay.
They're coming in the door.
She's walking in. Right now.
It's a very aggressive.
How's your summer, doctor?
Great. Hope all the listeners at home. Yay!
Glad to hear.
The last person we want to recognize tonight, Miss Maddie LeMana, come on in. Directly from Jefferson City. So come on up, stand, let me brag on you for a couple seconds at least. You guys all know how valuable Maddie's been to us the last couple of years, so we want to make sure we honored her fittingly before she, well, she's already started her job, before she leaves us completely. So the last person I would like to recognize is someone that has assisted our students, parents, guardians, and staff in finding the right pathway for each BPHS senior, Miss Maddie LeMana. Maddie has been an integral part of the BPHS team. Her main role of helping our students find the right post-secondary pathway is what she spent much of her time on, but she also did so much more. Maddie helped guide our families through the college decision process from start to finish. She also was the unofficial senior class sponsor where she helped seniors plan their spring events. Most importantly, though, Maddie helped secure over $12 million in scholarship money for our students through the last 2 years. We wish her the best as she starts her new job in Jefferson City, where she will serve as a program specialist for the Missouri Department of Higher Education Workforce Development. Maddie will always be a VPHS VIP, so wear your sweatshirt with pride. Really good sweatshirt.
Oh.
That concludes my awards. Can I go right into the high school strategic plan update?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
You can go ahead.
I'm super excited to share with you guys many of the 23-24 BPHS highlights and some of the areas that we will focus on for the 24-25 school year. So as you know, our pillar one, we want to make sure we're focusing on student success. I'll spend most of my time tonight focusing on that pillar. Our goal of connecting the work of our students do at Valley Park High School to college and careers is still and will always be an area of focus and growth. This slide really looks at some of the academic highlights of the class of 2024. Pretty cool. Most of our, you can see that 33% or more than a third of our students qualified for A+. 8 earned the seal of biliteracy. 5 earned Bright Flight. And if you're not familiar with Bright Flight, that is students who scored a 31 or above on the ACT. They earned over $10 million in college scholarships. And they earned 348 college credit hours through our dual credit courses. So that's pretty impressive as well. That does include some of our 9th through 11th graders who took classes as well. One area I didn't put on there, but I wanted to make sure I highlighted was this was the first year all members of the class of 2024, all members of any of our class took the ACT Work Keys assessment. And really happy to report that 90% of our students earned a Work Key certificate. That means that they are workplace ready. They receive a certificate that they were taught on how to attach it to their email and use on their resume. Again, this was the first year we had every senior take this assessment, and we're really excited about the results, and we'll continue doing that in the future as well. We performed highly on the Missouri School Improvement Plan 6. The class of 2024 scored in at 80%, which is in the highest range, the on-target range, 71.5% to 100%. We followed up with our class of 2023. You can see where what they're doing right now. Very proud of all of them, all of their accomplishments. As we look then at the class of 25, 26, and 27, you guys know we use the ACT suite of services. It helps us make informed decisions regarding student placement, instruction, post-secondary planning, and using data to increase school performance measures. The class of 2025 performed solidly on the ACT. I would also like to add that we have all of our juniors take the ACT test, which is unusual. Most schools have just certain juniors take the ACT. We have all of our juniors take it, except those who are MAP A taking the MAP A assessment. You can also see that the top 25% of our class average at 24.5, which is well above the state and national average. We continue to use the pre-ACT test to gauge the growth of our students and to help prepare them for the ACT test. The class of 2026 had an average increase of 1.1 points from their April 2023 pre-ACT 8-9 score. And the class of 2027 increased their scores from their September to April test by an average of 2.1 points. So very impressive work by the 26 and 27 group. Our science project Lead the Way courses continue to give our students skills that will benefit them after they leave us. This year, the Principles of Biomedical Science course offered first aid certification to all of our students in the class. Happy to report that 12 of our students earned this life-saving certification. Very cool. Then we started NWA testing this year. So our English, math, and biology courses did some benchmark testing this year. Students in those classes take a test in the fall, winter, and spring. We look at how much our students grow, areas our students need additional support in, and how our students compare to others across the country who take the test. Very happy to report that in all courses, on average, our students showed growth. We use the data to help support our students, and our students did very well in comparison to other students across the country. And lastly, we have our goal of connecting the work our students do to college and careers. These are just a few of the highlights from what we did this year. You can see we had a couple different college visits. We had a college fair at Webster. We took a group down to the University of Missouri for a tour of the University of Missouri Columbia. I think our freshmen took a STLCC Merrimack tour. Freshman and sophomore took the South County Tech tour. We did the Build My Future tours in the spring and fall. We had our first career exploration day in the fall. And our core values committee did work with First Form and Edward Jones. So very excited about the work we're doing with those groups. And I'm going pretty fast. Any questions while I slow down a second? Okay. We also want to make sure that our social emotional goals are heard through our students. So the first goal was that students feel their voice is heard and respected. Very happy to report that on our school survey, that our student survey, that this increased by 0.24. So our students really did feel like they saw a difference this year in making sure their voice was heard and respected. Ways we thought we were successful in that was we started our core value committee, our belonging cohort, with one-on-one interviews with certain students. The Dean of Students Activities had quarterly council meetings. Dr. Dill started the superintendent's students advisory team. And I really think one of the big things was our What I Need schedule, our Win Lunch schedule. Really allowed our students the opportunity to participate in clubs and activities and have time for the day for what they need. Our second goal around the social emotional goals were students will be more respectful to one another and staff members. Happy to report we increased, but we only increased by 0.01, so we got some work to do there. What are the charges for the Student Success Committee, the Student Advisory Team, and the Core Value Committee? We'll continue to study these areas and find different action items to be able to help us increase that score. So as we look ahead to 24-25, we want to continue our focus on increasing student voice and respect. Really want to focus on math and reading scores and continue to find different ways that we can get our kids to see different careers and see themselves in different careers. Moving on to pillar 2, our talented staff. On our staff surveys, we really looked at this year of staff recognition, staff feedback, and the culture of success. Happy to report that we increased by 0.25 points in all those areas. Some of the ways we did that was we implemented staff learning walks. I think you guys are aware our core courses had their first year with professional learning communities. And we continued and did some more recognizing of one another's staff meetings for all of our achievements at school and outside of school as well. As we look toward the 24-25, we talked about continuing to find more ways to recognize one another for all of our unique contributions we give to VPHS. And our pillar 3, strengthening or engaging our families and community. Last year, our real focus was strengthening communication with our families. So I think you saw the principal's weekly updates came out every Sunday. We did a communication survey in the fall to find out how our parents want to be communicated to best, whether it be email, social media, those type of things. So we learned a little bit about our parents. Then I hope you saw an increased social media communication from all areas of VPHS. I really felt like our all members of our activities and clubs, and especially athletics, did a great job of increasing our social media presence. We continue with our quarterly parent meetings. Looking ahead to 24-25, one of the areas we saw in our surveys from their parents was not getting a lot of positive communication home. So we're going to increase positive phone calls, emails, and notes to parents and guardians. So those with students still in the high school, hopefully you guys report back to me next year that was a success. That's all I have for you guys tonight. There's a lot more things happening at BPHS, so if you have any questions about anything or presentation, here you go.
I am curious about the win time. How did it play out? Was it everything you thought it would be and more? Did the staff like it? Did the kids engage?
I knew the kids were gonna love it. I had no doubt about that. But then at the end of the year, we did a staff survey and we talked about it at our end of the year staff meeting. They loved it. They recognized that what it meant for our kids, and I think it gave them a little breather in the day and also got them out of their classroom. They had to supervise the gym sometimes. They had to be in the cafeteria, so they had to be in different spots. So I just think they saw kids in a different way than they do every single period in the classroom. So that was the cool part of the report. That was what I was nervous about. I knew the kids were gonna love this. Didn't know how the staff would take to it, and they really enjoyed it and see the benefit for our kids.
Question, on your presentation,
Yeah.
it said, we're gonna increase the career exploration, how are we gonna?
Well, we continue to work with different companies across the St. Louis area. I mean, our goal, Yasmin, long term, and it's not gonna be next year, we continue to study this, is how do we get every one of our seniors to have some sort of internship or externship before they graduate? I don't think we'll be ready for the class of 2025, but we have had some opportunities for our students already to go and do some internships, visits, or externships. And hopefully, again, by, the next strategic plan, I hope that we have that in there, that we will have all of our seniors do some sort of internship or externship before they graduate. In an area, of course, that they have interest in.
Thanks, Dr.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have a strategic plan update from Julie Schrader.
Yeah. Thank you. Can I drive this? Okay. Thank you for having me. I am your Director of Special Education for Valley Park, and I'm very excited. I'm going into my 12th year, which is unbelievable, but I'm very excited to do an update. And really our update as I go through this is an extension of what the buildings already do. So we do everything in partnership. Our students are Valley Park students first. They just happen to have IEPs. And so that's always a message that is really important to me through our staff and with our administrators here in Valley Park. So I will go through and just do a quick little revisit of our special school district mission, vision, and strategic plan. I added in here as well, and I think Dr. Dill sent this out too when it was available in the fall, but Kennet Valley Park by the numbers, which is just a really big snapshot of what our special education numbers look like here in Valley Park. A little bit of what we're working towards for pillar 1, 2, and 3 in our key work, and then our goals and our outcomes and what we're working towards for next school year. And I won't go in detail and read all of these pieces because I know you can see that. The biggest thing on both this slide and then the next slide is really that alignment between what we want for our students as special school district and our students that have disabilities and what we want for our students in Valley Park. So you'll see a lot of common themes and it's working towards those guiding principles. You have the opportunity to sign that partnership plan. It always comes out around this time of year. And so all of that work that we do here is in complete partnership with St. Louis County. And I had a phone call with a parent last week, and I'm always so excited when we have people come into Valley Park, but also into St. Louis County, because we truly offer something very special here for our students with disabilities. So this next slide is really just comparing those key themes from Valley Park with special school district. So those kind of key themes on there are, and Dr. Looney just really spoke to this as well, our student success, valuing our staff, and then really looking at our family and our community engagement. The one piece that's a little bit different is that resource piece. So we obviously have an opportunity to take advantage of the wonderful resources in Valley Park, as well as the resources across St. Louis County through special school district. And if anybody has any questions on some of these, like the intricate pieces, please let me know. So this is the by the numbers piece for Valley Park. A lot of information on 2 slides. That first kind of on the upper left-hand side, we're really looking at our population here in Valley Park and also our students with disabilities. It does also capture our students that have disabilities that do not attend our Valley Park schools. So those numbers are represented there as well. It has been a focus for us to always be around that state average of identification, which is around that 15%. We were getting high at our elementary, really looking at 20%, which was alarming for us. And so we've really been looking and supporting all the schools, but really the elementary on early identifying through that multi-tiered system and interventions to really look at students who need support versus students who may actually have a disability. And so those numbers have dipped back down this year to that appropriate level for that child find. And we are happily around that 15%. I also, the caution, and we know this in Valley Park, 2 students make a difference of 15%, right? So 2 students moving into the district, 2 students moving out of the district raises that percent differently than it would in a Rockwood or Lindbergh or Kirkwood. The other piece that I know, Dr. Lenine spoke to this, but that tech piece, we have a lot of students here that really access those opportunities through our career technical education. There are some new updates that are going to come out, which it'll be hot off the presses in the next couple of weeks, but will really allow some of our students that have a little bit higher or different needs to access some of the programs again. So we've had a little bit limitations because of those standards and the process for application. And so I do see our numbers increasing a little bit in that field, which would be nice. And then on that right-hand side, it just goes over those typical areas of disability, and our numbers are really pretty consistent countywide. Again, our percent for those individual areas can differ because we have 1 or 2 students move into the district or identified through our process here. Any questions on kind of those big global pieces? So pillar 1, really looking at our students, and I had the opportunity to represent K through 12, all 3 buildings, which is a lot. And so I'm going to do my best to try to condense some of these pieces, but please feel free to ask questions. You can see on the right-hand side some of that key information and work, really working with the middle school this year and increasing our opportunities for partnering with them with those professional learning communities and that intervention time. We're really able to free up about 4 or 5 periods a day for our special educators to work with students with and without IEPs, pushing into different classes, really looking at executive functioning skills, some of those critical skills for our middle school students to kind of prepare them not only for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, but high school and then outside of high school as well. We increased our support for our social emotional behavioral learning. We did have a staff member who was predominantly at the middle school 2 years ago, and her time was really split between middle school and high school. Her percent was probably about 70% in the high school and 30% in the middle school. And through that, we were able to partner, Dr. Lenine and I, with Mr. Cook and our school psychologists, our counselors, met monthly to really look at those students who really have more significant needs. We extended that opportunity to the middle school towards the middle of the year, and our elementary team has been up and running for a couple of years. And then just continuing to build capacity with our resources. So really looking at some of those evidence-based and research-based programs through corrective reading, step up to writing, and this is just a few of what we use. Common Classrooms, which is a great addition over the last couple of years for our social emotional programming, Language Live, Number Worlds, and social thinking. And then post-secondary planning and training, that continues to be a really big strength and focus for us. And then increasing those intervention supports and inclusive activities, which one of our students was spotlighted today for that, but that work with Best Buddies, and then Special Olympics, and then our continued programming with CBI in our CBBI program at both the middle school and the high school. And then just some of our pictures that are celebrated there. So there are some pictures from our CBBI program, which we do a lot of on-campus jobs, but also off-campus work at Merrimack Bluffs. Some opportunities for belonging and inclusion activities through our PEP assemblies. We do have a new sensory space in rotation at the elementary school, which has been very, very critical as behaviors have been more prevalent. And then also obviously highlighting our students at the board meeting this spring for Special Olympics. All right, so that pillar 2 for valuing our talented staff. One of those pieces with the key works, I kind of talked about the programs that we access. But really, it's not only the training and implementation, but the opportunity for our coaching. So we do have an instructional coach that's assigned to Valley Park who is here on campus 2 days a week that supports those coaching in addition to my support. But we also have a lot of support through our effective practice specialists that we have for social emotional learning, autism, and a variety of other areas of need for special education. And then those are just the pieces that we really work around. So those high leverage practices, inclusion, positive behavior supports, and then obviously literacy and numeracy. And then I continue to really try to celebrate staff in addition to what we do here in Valley Park. I think the biggest thing that I did this year, we did coffee with colleagues. And so we do have a unique opportunity for K through 12 here. And so twice a year, just having an opportunity before school starts to invite all of the staff to come together before our kids come rolling in, to have coffee and donuts and just celebrate and enjoy each other's company before school starts. And then pictures, so I do our monthly staff and family newsletter. And so it's always important. We've had some phenomenal substitutes that we have on campus, and some of them are here every day for us. So being able to celebrate them. And then just some of the activities that we do with staff and doing some thank you grams. And then we had two really impressive honorees countywide, which is huge for our district. So we had both Dana Evans and then Danielle Fox this year being honored countywide. And then pillar 3 is that continuing to support the family and community. So again, communication through those newsletters, high staff involvement in all of our building level events. So whether it's conferences or Soar into Summer or, back to school nights, all of those normal school activities, our SSD staff proudly enjoy and participate in those. We also have a number of coaches. I don't think I put that on this year, but we have a number of our staff that do coach our sports as well. We continue to have a huge high level of participation with our families with IEPs, and we still do offer the opportunity to do those virtually. So for our families that do work or may not live within Valley Park, and that has continued to increase that level of participation. And then just the continued work around our vocational skills program. And so what does that mean for our outcomes? Pillar 1, one of the main things that I always look at, our staff do put a lot of time and energy into our student growth plans. And the reason why I focus on that, because that takes into consideration not only growth on IEPs, but also those regular state standards. And so 92% of our students had exceptional attainment as measured on those student growth plans. And that can be anywhere from literacy, numeracy, or social emotional learning. And then that indicator is really dependent on what that teacher teaches. So it's hard to just say it's just FastBridge or just one data system. There are a lot of data systems that information is pulled from. And then for staff outcomes, and this is why that student outcome is so high, 90% of our screening data was an increase this year for FastBridge. And this is a little bit of a pause because our raw numbers with literacy and math were not at a 90% average. What happened is we were growing our assessment plan with Valley Park with adding different pieces of assessment, or actually our amount of students that were screened dipped pretty significantly last year. So what we know about, in order to look at data, we actually need the data in front of us. And so we kind of paused. We still look at that raw data, obviously, but we had to get our screening data back up so we have the right data to look at. And so we are above the county average again for that. 100% of our staff met their educator growth plan, and again, around those key areas of literacy, numeracy, and social emotional learning. And through that, 91% of them ended in that proficient or distinguished area of their performance plans. And then on our engagement and climate, we continue to have a high rate of viewers for our newsletters, which is an opportunity for me to get out information on our staff celebrations, anything that's going on with special school district, any upcoming things in the county with rec center and task and those types of things. And then also really excited on our employment engagement. So we have our data through Valley Park. We also do a very similar survey through SSD, and it's been really important for me to communicate our SSD team here that is really critical that you do both of those surveys. And so this one is really about my leadership and then our executive leadership at SSD. But we have 100% favorable rating for the communicating results, which is huge for me, which was a 5% increase. 85% favorable work environment, which was an increase again from 9%. And then 83% for staff leadership relationships, which was a 16% increase from the previous year. All right, any questions over any of a lot of information?
Nope.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good job.
So our next item is 3.01 approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. Approved. 4.01 public comments on posted agenda items, anyone? No? Okay, move on. And we have consent items, 5.01 through 5.09.
I actually like to pull up.
Okay. 5.02. Consideration. Okay.
I'd like to pull up 5.03.
So do we approve all the other ones? Yeah. Okay, I make a motion to approve 5.1, 5.04, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8. Is there 9? And then
Yes.
5.
I think.
And 5.
Okay. All of them, but the 3, 2 and 3.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All in favor, then I guess we say aye.
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 Any opposed? No. Okay, so do we go back and pull out 5.2?
You do those one at a time, right?
One time, okay. So 5.2, Lisa?
Oh, I just wanted to abstain.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So you're gonna abstain on that one. So do we do a vote on that one or do 5.3 and then do a vote on those two?
Yeah, you do.
Okay,
Go back to 5.03.
okay, so,
I'll make a motion to approve 5.02. Second.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And
Aye.
abstain, and they said abstains, okay. Okay, and 5.03,
I just had a question, getting rid of all the computers. Is there any opportunity to, and you've probably answered this before, but sell back to the staff or students maybe? I mean, is there like a discounted rate to help them or anything like, I mean, there's a lot of laptops there that may have a little bit of life left.
Yeah, that's the problem, is they don't really have a lot of life left. Most of them were purchased prior to 2000, either 2017 or they were manufactured prior to that, and so most of them can't even run Windows 11, which as of like next fall is gonna be, it's sort of a death sentence for a computer that can't run, they can't go past Windows 10. So I mean, it's just kind of a catch-22, we're getting rid of them, so obviously like, we don't want them, so obviously we deem that there's no value to them, so it's kind of like selling that back to the community seems like a, just sort of a trap that we're putting ourselves in.
So I guess it's just not an option to offer it to,
I mean, it technically is an option, but like I said, it's basically garbage, so it's gonna be worth more to have MRC come and just take it and responsibly recycle it,
Okay.
environmentally.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Okay.
so make a motion to approve 5.03.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, now we're going to, 6.01, approval of guaranteed maximum price amendment with Wachter Construction, Dr. Dill.
So we're asking the board tonight to approve amendment A and amendment B, which is the guaranteed maximum price with Wachter Construction, our general construction manager. What's being presented to you tonight includes three major bid packages. So it includes the baseball irrigation work that you cannot miss when you drive. It includes the early childhood flooring, paint, and epoxy restroom floors. And then the middle school flooring and paint as well. So it's guaranteed maximum price. If you look at amendment A, not to exceed price is built in there. It also has a completion date of August 9th, which we're mostly on track for right now. And accounts for all the surprises that we have had along the way so far. And so right now, though it's very early in capital improvement projects, we have two positive things working for us. We are currently under pre-bond totals for the construction projects we're currently doing. And knock on wood, in June, we're on time.
Any questions or comments?
Could you possibly share some of the surprises that?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Two big surprises that we encountered was when we took up the flooring, well, it really is in the middle school primarily. When we took up the flooring in the middle school, you were asking the wrong person to speak to this, but they did moisture testing on the floor to make sure that the flooring that they put down will stay down in alignment with the warranty work. Unfortunately, the test read so high that we have to do moisture mitigation work and put a protective seal on it to guarantee our warranty. So that was an additional cost of about $74,000. But one we felt worth taking, seeing how the flooring is well over $500,000. And that's good for the life of the floor, so we're protected there. And then as part of the safety protocols, particularly in the middle school, we did asbestos testing everywhere. We did find 6 places initially that fired hot. So we did second testing and air sampling and confirmed that 3 of the floors had black mastic on it, which is essentially asbestos. And so right now they are abating the asbestos down there right now in 3 of those classrooms. That abatement work will be done on Friday, so they can do a second air test to make sure that we're all clear. But we should be good and be ready to go after that. And then other surprises aren't huge surprises, but we've experienced and knew about some of them. Some delays in materials and things, but the last materials we're waiting on are carpet squares. Oh goodness. Oh, floor treads and baseboards, and those are supposed to arrive Friday and start install on Monday.
Thank you.
Is this the first time the floor's been replaced?
Yeah, yes. So what they found in the middle school, which was also a challenge and took more time, there was 2 levels of flooring. So they had the original flooring, which was probably put down with black mastic. And then whenever they put the flooring above that, they just went right on top, which is a protocol you're allowed to do because they didn't disturb it. But we went down to the concrete to remove up all of it.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Someone make a motion to approve 6.01? You'll make a motion, you'll signify using a second. Okay, Lisa, roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Kip?
Oh, aye.
And I'm an aye.
Well done, Zoomers, well done.
And 6.02, approval of agreement with MSD for stormwater plan for baseball field drainage.
So as you can see on your documents, we're asking the board to approve this agreement with MSD. As you noticed, we're moving a lot of dirt around and changing the direction of how water flows and where it flows to. And so in order to do that, we had to get approval for our MSD, which surprisingly came very, very fast. So we're very appreciative of MSD because that sometimes can be a challenge. But because of where the water is going to flow, we have to install this pump that they have approved. According to our construction manager and our architect, this is actually the pump that requires the least amount of maintenance as far as ongoing upkeep, and it's one that we can actually get to in a relatively quick time. Takes about 6 to 8 weeks to manufacture the pump for approval. But this will also not only help with the baseball field drainage, but it's also helping in our approval when we do get to our parking lot work. So it actually kills two birds with one stone. As you can see in the agreement, MSD has approved both our plans for permits, the basin, the drainage facilities, all that. We are responsible for the upkeep and maintenance, and they sent us a manual and a number of different companies and organizations that come out and will do that on schedule for us. So we have to upkeep the drains and the structures. And if we don't, obviously, we incur penalties and things like that along the way. So we're recommending that the board approve the maintenance agreement as presented tonight.
Any questions or comments?
Look a good plan.
So how are they doing the drainage for the baseball field? I don't understand what they're doing out there.
Okay, so first, that's okay. So first and foremost, they're taking a lot of dirt out to basically change the direction in which the water flows. And then in simple terms, they will add pipes that basically take the water towards left field and the pitching mound, which will connect to the MSD drainage system right there, which actually cuts in right where the sidewalk is along the pitching mound. It's just to the left of that sidewalk. And so there'll be a pump installed there to correct all of it. And then on the baseball infield, the soil sample proved that the amount of turfus, which is what we throw on it when it gets too wet and we need to play a game, the amount of turfus to dirt is way out of whack, which makes it like concrete. So they're also peeling 2 inches of dirt, really not even dirt, 2 inches of material off the infield dirt, and then they'll put the right amount of soil into that so that it also absorbs some of that water as well.
And you said that they were maybe gonna look the softball infield for that also.
Yeah, so while they're out here doing that work on the infield, we are also asking them to do a soil test on the softball field. Okay. Yep. And then we actually, I'm sorry. And then we also took some of the dirt, because it's really good dirt. And we replaced it on the softball field. So we had some low spots in left field and center field. So we took the good dirt, moved it over there for leveling. And then we have a couple low spots on that field on 12 Main where the house was. So if you saw, there was still kind of like that gravel road. So we're going to cover that. And then just to the right of that road, there was kind of a ditch area between that field and that house. And so we're going to try to level that out as well too, without having to purchase any dirt.
Moving it around.
Yes, really good dirt.
It's an impressive mountain. That's
It was.
what they do.
Okay, any other questions? No? Okay,
I'll make a motion.
okay, we have a second?
A second.
Okay, roll call, Yasmin?
Aye.
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 Rich?
Aye.
Yeah,
Aye.
and I as well, okay. Thank you. And 7.01, public comments for non-agenda items, anyone? Nope, okay. And, okay, yes, definitely.
Just before we adjourn, this is the last meeting for 3 people this evening. 2 of them have already started their retirements, so we want to thank and congratulate Dr. Monroe and Dr. Lowe for their service to the district and retirement. And then we'd like to thank Susan for her 2 years of service to the district and wish her very well in her future endeavors as well. So,
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. And Becky?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Kim?
Aye.